Now, finally, my fifth, last, and final most common objection that you're going to get from the girl is, I'm not interested. Now, she might just flat out tell you that. I'm not interested. Okay? No, thank you. I'm not interested. Now, just like the girl telling you you're not my type, I mean, this could really, really mess with your head. Like, wow, I'm not interested. Why? What did I do? Did I say something wrong? You know, it's easy to go in your head. Where, for me, I don't even let that faze me. If the girl says, I'm not interested, I'll tell the girl, you know what? Don't flatter yourself. Okay, I just wanted to get to know you, and now I have. So, I'm not interested either. Right? You could say that if you want to throw it back at her. A lot of times when a girl says, I'm not interested, she's used to giving that default response because she knows it shuts down like practically every single guy that approaches her that she doesn't feel like talking to. So she'll be like, oh, I'm not interested. She knows that most guys are attached, their identity is attached to their ego, so they're going to go away automatically. Very, very few guys are going to push through that and try to get the win. And one of the most beautiful girls that I ever dated, okay, one of the most beautiful girls that I dated, we dated for, I want to say 3.5 years, until finally I dumped her. I dumped this chick. And this chick, she friggin' stalked me for like 2 years after I dumped her, trying to get back with me. Let me tell you, when I first met this girl, she literally said to me, I'm not interested. She's like, I'm not interested. She even said she had a boyfriend. She was like, I'm not interested. And by the way, I have a boyfriend too. So yeah, this isn't going to work. And she literally looked at me and she said, no. All right. She was like, no, I'm not interested. And instead of walking away all butthurt and taking my ball and going home, I was like, screw this. I'm going to burn this set to the ground as I teach you guys to do. And my buddy was there with me. My buddy was trying to pull me out of the venue. He was like, he wanted to go to another venue. And I'm like, no. I literally took, pushed his hand off of mine. I'm like, no, I'm getting this girl, dude. I go, if you want to go to that venue, go. I'll meet you there. But I'm staying here. I'm getting that girl. I was literally that fired up, right? I was that fired up. I wasn't like, oh, my ego, let me go home. No, I was fired up. I'm like, no, dude, that chick's hot. I know we have a connection. I don't know what her problem is, but I'm going to get that girl. I walked my ass over to the dance floor as she was dancing. I didn't interrupt her while she was dancing. I just kind of sat back and I watched her a little bit, not in like a creepy like stalker way, but I just kind of watched her and just kind of watched her behavioral patterns. All right, and then she started busting out like in the Carlton dance from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I started kind of do that. She was just kind of being funny and playful. And at one point she took her shoes off and she was dancing barefoot. Had really nice feet, by the way. And once she got off the dance floor, she started leaving the dance floor and she left her friend there. So I'm assuming she was heading to the bathroom. And so she leaves the dance floor. And right when she left and she was about to walk out, I grabbed her, right? I grabbed her by the arm, not in like an aggressive, like, you girl, come here. I just grabbed her. I pulled her back over to me and I went, hey. And I just stood there and she was like, oh, it's you again. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I know you said you're not interested in all this, but you know what? I go, I may be wrong, but I feel like there's a connection between us. And I literally said this. I said, I feel like there's a connection between us. And you know what else I feel? I said, I feel like me and you would have really beautiful babies together. I don't know why I said that. It was just what I felt in the moment. Just looking at her level of attractiveness and just kind of her aura. And it kind of matched mine in a way, right? I mean, obviously, it was a very, very beautiful girl. But I'm just saying our auras matched. And that's what came out of my mouth. I just said, I think we would have really beautiful babies together. And I think that we have a connection. And you know what? I go, I know I just met you here, but I go, I'd be willing to explore that even just as friends. I go, I know you said you're not interested, but even just as friends, I'd be willing to do that. And she was like, she literally like took a step back, like folded her arms and looked at me up and down. And this like disbelief that I came back a second time changed from disbelief to, okay, I'm going to give this guy a shot, because he actually, after telling him I'm not interested and I have a boyfriend, all this, he still came back. So I'm going to give him a shot. And oh, by the way, she didn't even give me her number. She was like, I'm not going to give you my phone number though. I'm like, okay, well, what are you going to give me? This is before Instagram. This is really a little bit before Facebook even. Or I think Facebook was just starting to come around. But she was like, I will give you my email. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Can I at least get your number? And she was all, I will give you my email. She was like, that's what I'll give you. And she was like, if you email me, I will respond to you. And I held her to it. I was like, you promise you'll respond? And she was like, yeah, I promise I'll respond to you. I go, sure, respond to me, man. I go, I'm not messing around. She was like, I'll respond to you. So she gave me her email, and I took that at least. I didn't know where that was going to go, but I ended up going home later that night, and I sent her an email. And I sent her, it wasn't like a long email, but it was just like, hey, I met you there, and yeah, I did mean what I said, and I wasn't drinking tonight, so I wasn't drunk, but yeah, I would love to get to know you better. And you said you had a boyfriend. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm willing to explore that friendship with you, like I mentioned back at the venue. Okay? The very next day I wake up, check my email. First email was from her. She responded. She was like, hey, thank you very much for your email. And she actually apologized for being rude. She said, I'm sorry if I sounded rude when you first started talking to me. She was like, I'm sorry if I sounded rude when you first talked to me, because she was like, I was just trying to grab my friend and get to the dance floor because there were a lot of guys there, and I guess they were like trying to hit on her. But just because I was so genuine and authentic with her, and I didn't try to hide anything, I didn't try to filter myself, I just said exactly what I was feeling, she bought into that. She was like, yeah, I'm willing to explore this friendship with you. From that email, I sent her another email, and I said, okay, well, I go, whenever you're free to hang out, I'd totally be down. And she's like, okay, well, you mentioned you live in San Francisco, because I mentioned that in the email. And then she says, well, I live out here in the peninsula by Burlingame. I was like, okay, well, I know a great restaurant out there. And it was Elephant Bar, by the way. She was like, oh, I know Elephant Bar. I love Elephant Bar. I'm like, let's go grab some appetizers. She's like, yeah, I'm totally down. And she still didn't give me her number. We already set up a date through email, and this chick still did not give me her phone number. Went to Elephant Bar, had food, left Elephant Bar, and after that, we went to go look at the planes take off. If you're familiar with that in Burlingame, SFO is right by the Elephant Bar. So we went out there, and believe it or not, we made out. We kissed. We were making out, and I was like, wow, this chick's making out with me. And after that, she still didn't give me her phone number. And then we exchanged a few more emails, and then she asked me to come down to Burlingame to meet up with her, and I met up with her a second time, and that second time we met up, we had sex in my car. So super just random. We just had sex in my car the second time. She has this boyfriend. She was cheating on him, and this chick ended up being some guy that she was just with because she was comfortable. Like I always tell you guys, a lot of these chicks will date guys that they're just comfortable. They're not really that attracted to him. They're just comfortable with the guy until a high value male comes along. Until somebody gives her an excuse to come along and take her from him. And I ended up being that excuse, and she ended up dating me. We went on a few more dates, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, I understand you have this boyfriend. Well, since you have this boyfriend, I'm just going to date other women. She got paranoid by that. She didn't want to lose me. So she dumped she dumped this guy that she was dating for me. Okay, she dumped him for me, and then she ended up becoming my girlfriend for like 2 or 3 years. And we had a great time. She didn't cheat, believe it or not. A lot of you guys are like, oh, she probably cheat on him. No, she didn't cheat for like 2 or 3 years. She didn't cheat until she found out like I was starting to go my own way. Like towards the end of the relationship, it got bad because I didn't want to date just her. So, I take responsibility for that, and she's a hot girl, and she had other options outside of me. And I totally understand that. But during our relationship, we were together. As far as I know, she did not cheat, and I'm pretty good with catching the signs. But she was always there with me. She never went out with a girlfriend. She was with me like practically 24/7. That is a situation where I met her, and initially she was not interested, and she told me she wasn't interested, even said she had a boyfriend, and she was like, no, didn't even give me her number. We even went out on a date together, still wouldn't give me her number, until finally, the second date we had together, where we ended up having sex, she ended up giving me her number after that. I'm like, okay, finally. I'm like, man, this was the first and only time I had to have sex with a girl in order to get her phone number. But she gave me her phone number, and from there, yeah, I mean, the rest is history. She ended up becoming my girlfriend. She dumped that dude, and we had a 3-year relationship. It was great. We took all these vacations together. Her boyfriend never came back into the picture. Never heard from this guy again. And yeah, he was kind of a complete chump. I don't know why she was with this guy, but she was. And, you know, that was a situation that started where she was not interested initially, and I got